We feel like we're the best football team in this league.
We the big dogs in the fight.
I feel like I've always sort of had to fight for what I get.
It's my time now. I'ma put it all on the line now. I'm a superstar.
Touchdown, San Francisco. Brock Purdy drops it right in the bucket. Spectacular grab by Debo.
Let's run and find out.
He's been outstanding.
Let's go! We don't have a ring, so that's exactly what's unfinished.
It's my time now.
He entered the NFL as Mr. Irrelevant and then quickly became beyond relevant amongst the elite, leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl this last season. We welcome to the show San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy, who joins us on behalf of Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Brock, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Here on set with Toyota, filming our commercial for the NFL draft. Got the Toyota Crown Signia behind me. We need to get in it, Stephen A.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
I don't mind, Brock. I'll get in it.
We need to get a shot of that after, Brock. It looks like you got some good weather out there. So tell me this. You stepped in when injury hit the Niners and never looked back. What is it about your connection with that offense that's made your team such a powerhouse in the NFL? Brock, you got me? I think it looks like he might have froze for a second.
He might have froze, yeah.
Well, while he froze, hey, Shannon, you come back on the screen. You answer that question for me. What do you think it is that he was able to step in and the Niners have been able to be such a powerhouse? When a lot of people called him a game manager, and he's really shown he's a game changer.
Well, sometimes you have to be a game manager. You have to understand the situation that you're in. I mean, sometimes you look at the game and it says, okay, I'm going to have to match the other team's offense. They look like they're going up and down the field on our defense. Go ahead. I think we got Brock back.
Brock, are you back, Brock?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
right, we can hear you now.
No worries.
Go ahead, Molly.
Brock, did you hear my question? I'll repeat it one more time just in case. But essentially, I was saying you stepped in and never looked back, right? Injury hit. And what is it about your connection with your teammates that you've become such a powerhouse in the NFL, this Niner squad? No, I think he's frozen again. I think he's frozen again.
Difficulties. Technical difficulties. Shannon, go ahead and finish that answer that you were providing about Brock Purdy, bro.
I think a lot of times sometimes, Stephen A., you have to understand the situation that you're in. And Tom Brady is the greatest game manager because he understood every game. Well, I might need to go score 40 today, but this might be a low-scoring game, so I can't put the ball in harm's way. So you have to, each game is a game in and of itself, and you have to understand early downs. But by the way, you might need to throw for 115 and no touchdowns, but not turn the football over. Brock Purdy does a great job of understanding that. Kyle Shanahan, and they've done a great job of surrounding him with talent. So they'll allow him to put the ball in guys' hands and let your playmakers do the heavy lifting for him. He understands, he processes information extremely fast and extremely well.
Let me throw this your way before we end this segment because he's got some technical difficulties, so we're not going to be able to do that interview. Sorry to the audience. But let me ask you this, Shannon. Mm-hmm. Do you have this feeling that San Francisco is still knocking on the door with Purdy and the crew that they have? Because I'm hearing, you don't know whether or not, the situation with Ayuk, I don't know if he's going to, they thinking about letting him go or whatever. I know Debo's still going to be there. Kittle's going to still be there. But of course, see Mac's going to be there. Do you feel like there's still those dudes in the NFC, or did they miss their window?
I don't think they've missed their window. I still think they're a very talented football team, but there's only so much money that you have to go around. We saw the first time they ended up letting one of their top defensive tackles go. We see this time around they end up releasing Eric Armstead. There's only so many opportunities that you have, Stephen A. I think offensively, they're still one of the elite teams offensively because of all the playmakers that you have. Now, Brandon Ayuk is a different situation. The question is, do they sign him to a long-term deal? Do they potentially sign him and trade him to get on draft capital? That remains to be seen. But I still think they have an opportunity. Fred Warner is still there. Nick Bosa is still there. They still have Ward at corner. So I like them. Hopefully Greenlaw who that had a serious impact on them in the Super Bowl because they were doing a job with the Kansas City as far as them trying to run the ball and pressuring the quarterback. But when Greenlaw went down, now you're playing someone in there in that moment that's not used to being in that moment.
This is how I look at them, and we'll end the segment with this, guys. I remember looking at them in the NFC Championship game, and I've never felt more sympathy, more sorry for a team in my life when they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles the season before last, because they lost. They're the only team that lost all 4 quarterbacks in one season. I'm like, damn, they couldn't even throw the football, right? Yeah. Then they're on a mission. They come back this year. They get to the Super Bowl, and like you said, they're having their way with Kansas City. Greenlaw gets hurt. And so I view San Francisco as arguably, not to say nobody has motivation, they all do, but I view them as the most motivated team in the National Football League because they've been knocking on the door all of these years, but especially the last 2 years. And you can legitimately look at them and say injuries derailed them, literally.
Right. Yeah. You know what, Stephen A., I remember back in the 90s, and Buffalo knocked on the door, knocked on the door, knocked on the door, knocked on the door, and they never were able to get inside. Yep. Is this going to be a situation
we'll find out.
that the San Francisco 49ers that's going to befell them? That they're so close year after year. You only get so many opportunities, Stephen A.
That's right.
You only get so many, but they do have a nice team offensively. We'll see what they do defensively. They got a new defensive coordinator. They moved on from Steve Wilkes, and so there's a lot to be seen. But there are a lot of teams in the NFC. Detroit says, "Hey, we're not going anywhere." The Rams are thinking, "Hey, we're healthy now. We're not going anywhere."
You're not allowed to bring up the Rams because of Puka Nacua and how you cheated during the Celebrity All-Star game, bringing football players to beat up on the ladies and people like that I had on.
That was Micah.
That was Micah too, but Puka was no joke. Come on now, catching alley-oops. Catching alley-oops. I told him I don't even want to see him again. I mean, Shannon cheated.
This is what I want to know, though.
Ridiculous.
Essay, are you going to redeem yourself?
No.
And coach in the All-Star game again?
Honestly speaking, I didn't want to coach in this All-Star game. I literally, the boss Dave Roberts asked me to, but I really want to just go and enjoy myself. I didn't feel like coaching, but I took the job, and Shannon rigged his roster, had a bunch of ringers on there.
Yeah.
I'm not subjective.
I could tell you didn't take the job seriously.
But I will make up for the first pitch that I threw at Yankees. I'm going to make up for that.
When is that? Because I want to, Shannon and I need to mark our calendars.
I'm not running from that challenge. That I'm going to make up for.
Stephen A., please wear the right footwear.
I promise you I will.
No Louboutins. I promise you I will. No dress pants.
I'm not going to put myself in this position.
Call up Derek Jeter and be full uniformed out in something.
Are you practicing?
I will. Once they give me a date, I will start practicing at that moment in time. I ain't got to practice for 10 months for a damn first pitch.
Stephen A., what do you want to be? Do you get ready or do you stay ready? You need to stay ready.
I do stay ready.
I don't know. Shannon stays ready. That's a fact.
You sure about that? Shannon been to